Turning to Russia, one of the thorny issues pending between the United States and Russia for some years now has been the importation into the U.S. of Russian uranium. It is the subject of an ongoing anti-dumping case, and we welcome now the Secretary of the U.S. Department of Commerce. He is Wilbur Ross with an important development in the case. So, Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for being here. There's a development today. What is it?
Well, the development is we have renegotiated with the Russian atomic people the energy contract for uranium coming into the U.S. over the next 20 years. The original agreement, the old agreement, had been scheduled to expire very shortly. So the new one replaces it, reduces annually the percentage of uranium that the Russians can supply to the U.S. and changes some technical features so that now reprocessed uranium coming in counts in the quota. So the net effect of this will be to strengthen the U.S. uranium producing industry and U.S. uranium refining, but to do it in a very gradual way that does not have any material impact on electric utility rates for those utilities that are using uranium.
So, Mr. Secretary, give us a sense from 2 points of view. One is the industry in the United States, that is the uranium production industry, what it does for them, but then also longer term, strategically for the United States and its energy policy, what does it do for the United States?
Well, energy policy has several important components. One is national security. There's obviously a national security risk to the degree that our electric power industry depends upon Russia as a source of its raw material. There's an even more direct national security risk as our Navy depends on foreign sources such as Russia for the nuclear submarines that we have going about in the ocean. And so the way to deal with all that is to have a healthier domestic industry.
Do we have the wherewithal to supply the amounts of uranium that otherwise would be lost? That is, say, I guess a different way of putting it. Is the price going to go up? You said it's going to be brought in gradually over time, but do you expect this will actually support the price of uranium to the utilities?
Well, what we're doing is reducing the Russian content from about 20% to about 17% directly, and then we're making the other technical changes. And that change occurs over a period of years. So you're talking a very small portion of the utilities inputs, and uranium for nuclear power is only a small portion. I think it's around 20% of their total power. So it will not be noticeable, especially since there's such volatility in the prices of the other sources of power, namely oil, natural gas, and coal. So this will get not noticeable to the consumer, but it'll be very noticeable to the U.S. producers.
So I understand, Mr. Secretary, why this would be helpful to U.S. producers, and I understand your point about strategic significance for the United States. What was in it for Russia, to put it directly? What did they get out of this deal?
Well, what they got out of the deal was assurance of a stable relationship here for many years to come. The alternative to this suspension agreement would have been for us to bring a 232 proceeding and potentially impose tariffs, quotas, or other remedial measures. So what it gives everybody on both sides is assurance about what are the rules of the game, how much material will come in from Russia, how much material will not come in from Russia, and therefore it should stabilize things both from the U.S. point of view and the Russian point of view.
Mr. Secretary, let's turn from Russia to China for a moment. We have a TikTok hearing, as I understand it, from before the district judge coming up the day after the election, maybe coincidentally, maybe on purpose, I don't know. But where are we right now in our relationship over the TikTok deal?
Well, we have November 12th as the date by which TikTok must either come to an agreement that's acceptable to the Chinese parties the U.S. parties, U.S. government, and Chinese government regarding a divestiture by ByteDance of its ownership in TikTok, or based on the president's executive order, TikTok will be shut down in the United States.
Mr. Secretary, just one other subject, which is the census. There's been some back and forth about how long you would be gathering the data. As I understand it now, you've agreed to keep gathering data for the census until the 31st of October. Is that correct?
Well, the district court in the Ninth Circuit in California has issued an injunction requiring us to continue it through October 31st. We obviously have to comply with the court order. But what's interesting, we now have already enumerated 99.7% of all the households in the U.S. That's higher than was done in 2010. They came in at about 99.6. And of those households, something like 25 plus Puerto Rico are over 99.9. Another 8 are over 99.8. And there are only a couple that are much below that. So we feel the census is relatively complete by historical standards. However, the court has made its order, and we have that order on appeal. While the order is in effect, we obviously will have to comply with it.
Mr. Secretary, it wouldn't be responsible of me not to ask about your health, the health of the people in the Department of Commerce, given what happened with the President of the United States last week. How are you doing? What are you doing within the Department of Commerce to make sure you don't have problems such as we're seeing right now, apparently, at the White House?
Well, we're doing a tremendous amount of at-home work. Some of our departments already had been doing it. U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, which is part of us, has done a lot of at-home work over the years, and they've found it very, very productive. In terms of our census workers who are out enumerating, part of the reason that we're anxious to get them finished is for safety. We are providing them with very good, proper personal protective equipment, both in the form of masks and everything else. They are not going into households. They're just talking to people through a slightly open door. Nonetheless, we would like to end that as soon as we can. In terms of the major building itself here in DC, that's largely open, largely unoccupied, because we are emphasizing a lot of work at home. We do have it deep cleaned every single day so that those who wish to work there can do so. And for me personally, I've been tested as recently as yesterday, and I tested negative.
Well, everyone wishes only the best of health for all of our colleagues in the United States government. Thank you so much for being with us today, Mr. Secretary. That's United States Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross.